Welcome everybody to round number 6 of the 2019 RF Grand Prix series here in MX Simulator. We're in Kegums today for the RFGP of Latvia. And my name is Kellen Browder here on Start Your Systems, bringing you guys all the action of the Mx2 class, which we're going to have up first here tonight. So glad you guys could join us again this week for some action-packed racing. We're going to go ahead and start off our evening program by taking a look at our 250 Mx2 Class Standings as we enter tonight's racing. Walter Gebhardt leading the points over Isaiah Dickerson by 14 points after winning last week. Kevin Gonzalez sits third after ending up on the podium as well. Jordan Moxie, Jack Gatlin all mixed up in there. And we've got quite a bit of interesting championship scenarios shaping up already, especially as you can see in this battle 3 on back. We got a lot of guys still pretty close together here trying to battle for that final podium position. Our two leaders, Dickerson and Gebhardt, have pretty much opened up a pretty nice sized gap up here. A little over 63 points ahead of Kevin Gonzalez, so pretty unlikely they catch him, but we'll have to see how this 3 through 7-ish battle kind of shapes up as we head into the second half of the season. Coming into tonight, this is what we're looking at qualifying-wise, though. Walter Gebhardt did go fastest. He just nipped championship rival Isaiah Dickerson by 4/10 of a second. 5/10 of a second, I should say. 37.2 to a 37.7. Those were the only runners in the 37s, as Dalton Plessinger dropped to a 38.2. And that was the only guy in the 38s. Everybody else 39 and above. Kyle Robb 39.1. Kevin Gonzalez 39.4 was your top 5. And we had 23 guys run laps here tonight, so we should be seeing just enough guys out here to score some points. And we'll see how it shapes up on this lovely track in Latvia. Kegums, round number 6 of the series. If you're just joining us for the first time here in the Race Factory Gaming Grand Prix Championship, essentially what this is a 10-round series of what the Race Factory guys have deemed the best / favorite tracks that they wanted to make for the series. And so technically, obviously, we're still a little bit behind the current schedule. By next week, we should actually be ahead of the schedule. And we'll be rolling into the second half of the season here tonight in Latvia, which was raced in real life 2 weeks ago now in the GPs. So you guys will be seeing this track race for the first time here in Sim. These guys have been qualifying for the last couple of days over the weekend trying to get their lap times down, but they've yet to actually throw down the lap times into a race format yet. So this is going to be exciting to see how our MX2 guys are able to fare. Again, so glad that you guys could join us though for round 6 of this series. Pretty crazy. We're already past the halfway point. Like I said, that championship scenario up top looks like it's really opened up from the rest of the pack. Isaiah Dickerson has led the points basically from the opening round on until Gebhardt was able to steal that away from him after winning the Grand Prix last weekend in France. And that was basically because Isaiah Dickerson had a controller malfunction, we'll call it, in the first moto when he was running in second. And was able to rebound in the second moto, but still Gebhardt, I believe, went 1-2 or 2-2 for the overall victory, just edging out Jordan Moxie. A little bit of team tactics in play there for that, but you guys can go ahead and check that out on our website if you missed any of that action from last week in France. It's a good one in the 250 class, and I'd imagine we're going to have another fun one to take a look at here tonight. As our guys are now lined up on the gate, they're currently circulating the racetrack doing a warm-up lap. Kind of feeling things out one last time. This is usually for the Race Factory guys to be able to just check on everything, make sure everything is still running smoothly. Looks like waiting on someone actually to load in still, the 23 machine. Don't believe this is... Oh, this is the race. Okay, so we're not even going to see a warm-up lap off these guys. They're ready to go as JLV's already got that board sideways, moonwalking off the track. We're ready to go racing. It's the RFGP of Latvia as gate goes down. Taking a look at Luke Sullivan on the 811. Did not get a good start. Trent Adams on the 323. Looks like he got into the corner first. Some contact and out of the corner first with the Race Tech Hole Shot Award. It is going to be Devin Ryan, the active code number 15 rider, just ahead of Trent Adams. I saw Gebhardt trying to get down the inside, but he went down. Normally this start is really beneficial to be down that inside line, but it did not work for your championship leader. Instead, Devin Ryan coming kind of from the middle and sweeping to the outside was able to get that whole shot. He's going to go ahead and try to check out at the front of the field as he crosses the finish line to lead the first lap of the race. Trent Adams right there with him. Sean Klein, good to see Klein out here racing. I don't think we've seen him in any GPs this year. Obviously, he is in the midst of a championship fight in the RF North American National Series. So he's going to go ahead and try to go with Trent Adams and Devin Ryan out front. Austin Barron, a good position, trying to hold off Rasmus Eriksson, and Brett Powers, Donut MX on that 85 machine lurking in the background. Scott Moxie on the 34, who was runner-up last week in France. Well, these guys launching out to flat. And then Gebhardt right behind Moxie, so this little 5-pack really close together here. So everybody's trying to just fight for some track position early. This is a very fast racetrack, and a lot of outside lines are going to be used. You can see Gebhardt trying to peek down the inside, but literally nothing to do there. Let's see if he maybe loses a spot. He's going to actually go down. Does Gebhardt? He flips off the side of the track, but he's able to remount, still right behind Dylan Copeland, and, well, no, actually, Gonzalez and Plessinger. Plessinger, your third fastest qualifier. All these guys going by. It's a freight train, and it continues with our three leaders still pretty stacked together. It's our three leaders, a small gap, and then basically everybody else just locked in. And never-ending freight train out front. Again, though, talking about those outside lines, seeing these 250 guys using them. Spoke with some of the SYS riders on the 450 team, and they were saying even in the 450 class, outside is the way to go. So obviously these 250 guys, in order to keep up their momentum, going to use every outside opportunity that they can, and that is exactly what Devin Ryan is doing. He's just laying into these corners, blowing out the berms, basically. Adams and Klein, little sniff up the inside in that switchback corner, but nothing doing. I think that you're going to see how fast this track gets going before it starts slowing down. It is going to pick up the pace quite a bit as Adams makes a small slide out. Sean Klein's trying to have a peek. Three Americans out front. And three of these guys have yet to win a moto in the Grand Prix circuit this season. All of them are plenty capable. Adams, the only rider in this group that is yet to win a Pro Series race yet. But he's definitely going to give it his all out front, as he has got a good start, and he's trying to go with these guys as everybody still fights for position behind. And just as I saw Klein was closing up on Adams, it seems like Adams got a couple good lines in there, and he is putting some pressure onto your race leader, Devin Ryan. This guy's trying to get the power down on exit of that first corner, and Adams is just putting the heat onto the 15 machine out front. See if Ryan's able to respond to this pressure, open up that gap that he had. It almost looks like Adams a little struggle first half of the lap. Maybe these tighter sections really don't suit his setup. Maybe he's got a little bit of longer gearing. He's going to go through the front door, though, on the finish line. Oh, and he takes Klein with him. Went for a whip, but got a kicker, and down he goes. So Klein goes down with him, and oh, man, just so many riders going by. Those guys are trying to get away early at the front, unfortunately. These guys are all going to get stacked up in this grouping, which now includes Luke Sullivan, first we've seen of the 811 since that crash in the first corner. As he's coming through, he makes contact with Austin Bear, and then Sean Klein dragged him out of the corner. I think Klein ended up going down. No, it was actually Sullivan. Klein's still up. So these guys making some contact. It's been a little risky here. We're only not yet 5 minutes into this moto, and these guys are throwing some contact in here. Seemed incidental, but contact nonetheless. Now a huge gap for your race leader, Devin Ryan, working on 8 seconds. And we have just eclipsed the 5-minute mark of Moto 1. This is what Devin Ryan always needs, though, is good starts. He has had some terrible luck on first laps all season long, really, including Supercross earlier this year. But if he can get a good start, he definitely has the pace to get away early on. First foreign rider in the mix, or should I say non-American rider in the mix, is Jack Gatlin, the British rider for Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. See if his lap time this time by is going to go a little bit better than Ryan. He looks like he's got some good flow working. I think what you're going to see with this track too is the notchiness of some of the corners is going to deter people from taking the same lines that they have been, as Gatlin lays down a 1:41.7. It actually matched Devin Ryan that last lap through. So these guys 1 and 2 doing the exact same thing. Moxie on a 41.9, 42.3 for Gebhardt, 41.5 for Dickerson. This is the first we've seen of Dickerson in this moto. I believe he was down in that first turn scrum, and he's worked his way all the way up to P5, trying to go after our lead group. He's really trying to go after this man right here, though. Points leader Walter Gebhardt, current points leader in both of the Premier North American Series. Putting all kinds of pressure on Moxie, who's closed up on Gatlin. Again, Gebhardt peeking inside. He's going to try to block the line for Moxie and get the power down. Moxie trying to swing around the outside. It'll turn to the inside in the switchback. And I think he's going to keep that spot. He's just going to drift wide and block Gebhardt's line right there. Gebhardt not going to be too thrilled about that, but that's just the nature of the game leading into a jump like that. So Gebhardt has to go back to work. Dickerson closing down from behind. And this is quickly developing into a nice battle for second, but Gebhardt gets hung up on the back of Moxie. Fortunate not to actually fall down right there, but he did have a lot of time lost, and now Dickerson putting the pressure on him. Remember, only 14 points in it between these two. So if Dickerson can claw a couple points back even in this first moto alone, it's going to put some more pressure on Gebhardt. As mentioned, those outside lines, though, they're just slingshotting all the way around these corners, carrying so much speed. You saw Gebhardt really utilized an outside line to his advantage there. And then Dickerson closed right back up. These guys tucking to the inside and using that nice inside line that's already getting dug out pretty well. The way the track is eroding pretty early on, it seems like we're definitely going to see a shift in the development of the track and these lines the guys are taking probably around the halfway point of the race, if I could guess. Already some good chop in the corners. You're going to start seeing guys pushing the front ends a little bit, maybe going off the track. Gebhardt is just on the very top of that line right there, but wow, made it work, putting all kinds of pressure now on Moxie. He's going to try to get him the same spot they were going side by side last lap. Moxie shuts the door. It allows Dickerson to close right up back onto Gebhardt. Oh, nearly contact. Look at Dickerson, hops over him, lands on the track still. No idea how he pulled that one off around the outside, but gets around Gebhardt. Now can he run down Moxie? All the while Gatlin trying to hold him off. Dickerson with a peek down the inside. Nice aggressive move, but Moxie comes right back and taps him. Down Dickerson goes, so all that hard work for naught, as it was just a little tap. Oh, and then Gebhardt nearly gets together with Moxie. Oh, Moxie, a little kind of brake check action maybe right there. It looked like he came pretty slowed down for the corner. Cuts back underneath and just plows Gebhardt down to the ground. Dickerson goes back through. Moxie gets going ahead of Gebhardt. What in the Jason Lawrence is going on out here? These guys are throwing some heavy T-bone block passes into each other. We're not even 10 minutes into this thing yet. Look at, oh man, Gebhardt comes flying back on Moxie, and down he goes. This is not going to help Gebhardt's case towards the championship at all, as now Dickerson well ahead of these guys. Gebhardt's got to kind of regroup here. Lost a couple positions here to Kevin Gonzalez and Dylan Copeland. Gonzalez fresh off his first career podium last week at the RFGP of France. And looks like he is really starting to feel the flow outdoors. Good to see for the 53 machine. Gonna try to run down Moxie here, who for the moment at least is kind of taking a bit of a deep breath from all that chaos that was going on. He's going to try to go back after Dickerson, and Dickerson, in all that scrum, lost some time to Gatlin. So Gatlin has a little breathing room to work with right now, but it seems that that gap is coming down. It also seems like the lead gap came down a little bit that last lap. Ryan still has a nice lead that he's working with. He's going to come on by this time by. Lap 7 in the books. Lap 8 underway. Devin Ryan continuing to lead here at the RFGP of Latvia, but he goes down! Just what I was speaking of the pushing the front end over these ruts. The choppiness in the corner is going to allow those front ends to really rise higher and higher in the corners with the speed they're carrying into the corners. And now suddenly we have a battle for the lead. Ryan, Gatlin, Dickerson, 1, 2, 3 on your screen here. Set to do some battle here in Kegums. Dickerson looking for a cheeky inside line, crosses back up to the outside. Oh man. Launching deep to flat. Let's see if Dickerson gets the power down here around the outside. Does he square back underneath? He does. Ooh. I think Gatlin knew that he was coming there. He checked up hard on the outside entry to the corner there. But rightfully so, as Dickerson was throwing caution to the wind down the inside. He moves up to second. Now he's going to go after Devin Ryan, who has led this thing since the start of the race, despite crashing last lap. Really interesting to see these guys landing off the track, kind of using the banking of the surface right there. Normally, it is wherever tough blocks are, or hay bales in this case, you can expect timing gates, but this week there's so many of... Oh, Devin Ryan's gone down! Blows the corner at the end of the mechanics area and is gone from first to third just like that. New leader in Latvia. It's a 25 machine of Isaiah Dickerson. So Dickerson stalking his prey, charging through the field. Went from 5th to 1st in the matter of about 5 minutes and is now leading here at Kegums. Now can he check out and pull away with this victory before anything else happens? That remains to be seen. Gatlin trying to keep it close just in case. Devin Ryan had Moxie pretty close to him, but that's all gone to waste, and I don't believe that there would have been any contact here between Moxie and Gebhardt. I think Moxie may have gone down on his own merit, but after the contact that we have seen between these two, wouldn't put anything past either of them at this point. Wouldn't blame Gebhardt for an aggressive move on Moxie, and clearly Moxie taking no prisoners out here anyway. So that moves Gebhardt up into the 4 spot for the time being. As they run with Dickerson leading, that is going to be a 7-point swing in the championship. So 1 moto, and that points lead cut in half, but still so much racing left. Over half this race still to go, and 2 laps. A little fun sprint to the finish there at the end. Should be good to watch. Now what can Devin Ryan do here to regroup? Led this race for so long, so consistent too. He's putting in basically the same lap over and over while all the chaos is going on behind him. And then 2 crashes in the same lap very quickly cost him the race lead. Now with Gebhardt lurking behind, he would be in danger of losing a podium position here in this first moto, but always talked about Ryan and getting good starts. His late moto speed is good as Gatlin has gone down. Gatlin rejoins the track still in the 3rd, but Gebhardt trying to hop over top of him. Now closes the gap down. Oh, Gatlin down again, and Gebhardt beautifully done to cut back underneath mid-rut and avoid him. Now Moxie slides through around Gatlin. Gatlin gets going just as Dalton Plessinger arrives on the scene. And Plessinger clearly gelling with the track this week. Trying to land on the podium for the first time in his career if he can. Whoops. Here is Plessinger closing up on Gatlin. Nice scrub line And again, laying a little lower, trying to put the power down up alongside Gatlin here down the inside. And a nice move by Dalton Plessinger. Gatlin gonna have a peek back down the inside in the next corner. Oh, and it comes to blows. They both go down. Plessinger loses the front end mid-corner, but he was gonna get absolutely teed up by Gatlin anyway. These guys are not scared anymore. So these guys throwing some caution to the wind out here. And this new snapshot released a couple weeks back with some fixed front end lock issues, or I suppose just marginally better front end lock issues, are really allowing these guys to kind of just send it now. And look at Gonzalez here. Oh, he's gonna lay it down though. Was looking on a line on Copeland there, but blew the inside rut, and he's gonna try to get going. And then Plessinger's not even in the mix anymore, as Trent Adams just hopped over top of him. That was really close between those two. Plessinger, Adams here. 3-2-3 versus 3-3-3, side by side over the finish. Oh, and then we got a rider getting back on the track as Plessinger can't avoid Adams. That was Warden who had just blow the corner right there. And now Adams might not only get away from Plessinger, but might have a line here on Warden. See if he gets this rut nicely. He does. Swings around the outside and makes that move. Warden, a plethora of mistakes right there. Costs him a position. He's going to try to go back to work. Jack Gatlin lurking there in the background. All the while, it is Isaiah Dickerson leading this race right now. Got about a 20-second lead right now over Walter Gebhardt. And as they run with Gebhardt moving up into second, that is going to be a 3-point swing in the championship. So Dickerson's clawed this thing back down to just an 11-point gap. Still about 12 minutes and 2 laps remaining here in Mx2 Race 1 in Latvia. I see you guys in chat speculating what I dropped. I dropped my controller, which is why I said whoops. Usually if I drop stuff, I don't make mention of it because it doesn't really matter. You guys can't see what's happening, but can't click to the next rider if I don't hold a controller in my hand. So Dickerson, let's see how he can develop to this ever-changing racetrack too. Starting to see little kicks here and there. Gebhardt looks like he's actually closes down a little bit. 14.1 seconds the gap, 41 flat to a 40.8. So lap times don't suggest that that's the case. Let's stick with Dickerson here for the last half of the lap here. I want to take a look at the track development from first person as well. Kind of see one main line through that switchback those guys are using, and they're just hooking into it and going right through. Dickerson's just carrying so much speed in and out of the corners, but all the while, if you take a look at the pit board, the gap's coming down just a little bit. I know it doesn't seem like a ton, but you get this thing within 10 seconds, suddenly it's one fall-off crash, and we have a race on our hands. So let's see what he puts down this time. 41.7. Follow him after the corner here for a minute while we wait for Gebhardt to cross the line. Oh, Dickerson goes down, just as I said. That one crash is all it's going to take. Let's see what Gebhardt ran. 42.5. So actually Dickerson did go faster that lap. But that gap that was out to about 14 seconds now going to be about 5. So these guys, little game of cat and mouse. Oh my goodness, just how far they launch right there. I just expect them to have fall-off crash. But make it happen, no problem, I guess. Good suspension really helps. Devin Ryan still is in third. Actually, while we're here, just past the 20-minute mark, let's go ahead and do a quick top 20 run through the field. It's brought to you by Atom, Adam Holm, who will be racing the 450 class later on tonight. Does some awesome streams and has been supporting this GP series. So check him out, twitch.tv/Atom. World-class rider here in MX Sim. Isaiah Dickerson, his teammate on MV Films, leads the race here past the 20-minute mark at the RFGP of Latvia, the number 25 machine, trying to claw some points back in this championship hunt between himself and Walter Gebhardt, who is in second behind him, the number 13 points leader on Prestige Worldwide. He's had a run-in with the old Jordan Moxie freight train and found his way back up into second, now trying to run down our race leader. Devin Ryan led most of the beginning part of this race. A couple crashes caused him to drift out of the lead, but he still sits third for Active Co on the number 15. Here is fourth, Jordan Moxie. As mentioned earlier, some heavy contact between him and Gebhardt. Probably going to be the talk of the town after this one, as the number 34 Architect rider taking no prisoners out here. He means business and still sits in fourth. Dylan Copeland, having one of his better rides in this GP season thus far, is up into fifth. The number 44 Tagger Designs rider putting in a solid moto right here. I think he really needed this. He had a pretty good week as well at WW Ranch last week at the National. Carry that momentum right here into Kegums, which is another sandy-based track, so probably feeling the flow here on these sand tracks, and a good time to do it as we got Southwick coming up on Wednesday. Behind him sits Trent Adams in sixth on the 323 DX3 machine. He actually won Lit Kit at WW Ranch. Nice orange and white setup. Running the red and black this week. Still pretty nice set though, must say. And he's got sixth right now, but Luke Sullivan on the Transmoto 811 is trying to push some pressure. Oh, and he's going to get around him. So Sullivan up to sixth as down went Trent Adams. So seventh now is Jack Gatlin, rider out of Great Britain on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna factory racing machine. He's had a really up and down moto thus far. Was running up front for a while, crashed his way back to about 10th. Now has clawed his way back up to 7th. See if he can go any further from here. Gonzalez on the BPC number 53 also got around Trent Adams when he was down. Oh, but he's going to go down himself, and that's going to allow Jake Warden, Wildside Designs number 59, headed up into P8. And this is a really good ride out of the old prison guard here. Strong moto for him. Battle between Alex Kerr, Trent Adams. Oh! And what just happened? Dalton Plessinger and Kevin Gonzalez going down behind them, so Klein went through. It's all kicking off back here in this 10 spot. It is currently occupied by Trent Adams. Alex Kerr had moved up to 9th, privateering it out here. Don't believe he is actually number 21, but he may or may not be on Connor Holiak's bike. Either way, still ahead of Trent Adams, who is 10th. 11th for Sean Klein. Got a good start, was battling with the leaders, and has drifted backwards, but trying to put on a late race charge to get up inside of the top 10 to match his number. The ever good number 10 rider. First time we've seen him here in the GPs. Nice strong showing inside of the points. Kevin Gonzalez has crashed his way back to 12th. He's going to try to regroup. Dalton Plessinger is just so frustrated, I'm sure. Third fastest qualifier, runs 13th, but he just went down. Let's see if he loses that spot. He will. Brandon Holmes, the 148 Brotopia machine, goes on through into 13th. And Plessinger will drift back to 14th for Active Co. There's 15th, Brett Powers for Wildside Designs. Well, he runs the 40 on his back, the 85 on his bike, but he doesn't run his team skins, and nobody knows what the heck's going on right now, as he is letting Isaiah Dickerson lap him, and then Dickerson does a little bike humping by him. Interesting tactic, but it worked. So Powers holds down, what are we at, 15th now? Yeah, 15th for Powers. 16th for Carter Hutcherson, the 771 Moto Mecha rider. Scoring a nice little haul of points here. And no real pressure from behind, but he's got a long way to go forward. As Austin Bear runs 17th for Hemlock. 948 machine got a good start, but unfortunately crashed his way backwards early on. And he's actually going to get a spot on Hutcherson there, who was down, so Hutcherson goes back to 17th. 18th is Neil Fitzpatrick of Proline Designs on the 497, and he's got Pogo number 12, 112, Dominic Saulnier right behind him, and Reed Young, as Gunnar Fugler's bike is just getting passed around like nobody's business these days. The 641 of Gunnar Fugler is not on the track here tonight, but Reed Young riding his bike and wearing Walter Gebhardt's gear. It's just a plethora of mismatched things out here. Oftentimes I feel like these guys do it on purpose, but never really know who likes or doesn't like me. Connor Wells behind these guys. He is outside of the points. Jack Fowler also outside of the points, and Rasmus Eriksson back here as well. Kyle Robb has called it a moto, as his Benjamin Saves, and Chandler Bloxham. That is the entire field. We went beyond the top 20. Back out front, 26.5 minutes into this thing, and Isaiah Dickerson is flipped the cruise control switch. Lapping Trent Adams here. And Dalton Plessinger. So Adams, who was battling for the lead at one point, going a lap down, and Dalton Plessinger, who probably feels he should be battling Dickerson for the lead, also going a lap down. Frustrating night for those guys, I'm sure. And they'll look to regroup in that second moto. Look at the front end wiggle that these guys are getting. It's really just a product of the choppiness within the ruts. It's good though. I like to see these guys challenged. They're not the best in the world for nothing. Gebhardt has lost a lot of ground. In fact, Devin Ryan isn't too far off of him. Well, Dylan Copeland's up to 4th. Moxie's up to 5th. Klein's up to 6th. Sullivan is 7th. Gatlin 8th. Warden 9th. Gonzalez 10th. Already seen a lot of these guys. There is Trent Adams, Brett Powers, Dalton Plessinger. Seems to me like Isaiah Dickerson and Brett Powers are buddies. There's been a lot of frantic bike humping going on by Dickerson every time Brett Powers is on the same stretch of the racetrack. Wouldn't know if I'm honest. Don't know much about Dickerson or Powers or their love affair. Only know that there's been some humping going on. Who has the fastest lap of the race? 38.6 Dickerson. Anybody below the 40s? Doesn't appear to be the case. That's incredible. 38.6. What lap did he run that on? I don't even remember seeing that on the pit board. Clearly he's still feeling the mojo. Oh, Gebhardt actually just laid down a 39.9 just as I said that. So Gebhardt got the fire back in his belly. He's got a minute and 2 laps to try to make up 13.5 seconds. And he thinks that's too big of a gap, but sometimes these guys find things that you never really expect them to do. Down this back straightaway. Gebhardt carrying a lot of speed, but also losing some time. Looks like he's made a few too many mistakes this lap. And judging by the time left on the clock, I think we're going to be out of time next time by with 2 to go. Alrighty, pin 66, aka Zachamis Dupuis. Subscribing again. Welcome back to the SYS VIP Club. Although, I mean, I guess you are a member of SYS FanMax Racing, so that kind of automatically makes you one of those. Regardless, sir, thank you for your 5th month of being a VIP member. And you're on a 3-month streak. I dig it. So 12.5 seconds, and Dickerson, wow, actually 30 minutes on the clock just happened, and when we switched to Dickerson, he was tiptoeing in his jorts up to that finish line. 41.7 now for Gebhardt. There's only 10 seconds in this thing. Oh, Gebhardt OJ's the finish line and goes down, pushing too hard, and that was just after Dickerson went down after the finish line jump. Wow, that's an interesting little exchange of events, and now Gebhardt goes down again. That's a weird spot to go down twice in a corner that way, but Gebhardt having a miniature implosion of sorts. At this point, it appears he will not be able to catch Dickerson before this is over unless Dickerson has a similar level of imploding. Seems like Dickerson has unfortunately been very hot and cold this year. Gebhardt has been steady through the first half of both championships that we've been following. But Dickerson missed a couple rounds in the National Series, kind of just DNFs, probably out of frustration, didn't actually get the full story on why he didn't finish those motos. And then obviously the DNF in the first moto last week, but that was an aggression-based DNF. That was of his own doing, a broken controller. And other than that, he's had a pretty decent GP season, but I think he'd tell you that could be better. As he would say about the same thing about his RF Nationals series as well, working around Brett Powers there. White flag about to come out. One lap board out as Old Man River waves the old white flag. I kid you not, folks, there is an old man by the finish line jump waving that white flag. He's been around this MX Simulator scene for years. He knows how to get it done. Look at that guy over there. Look at him. Beautifully done. I'll tell you what, folks, we got a battle for second brewing. Walter Gebhardt under attack. Devin Ryan slowly been closing this thing down as Gebhardt's made the mistakes. One more will mistake out of Gebhardt, I should say, will be all it's going to take. And suddenly he has lost more points towards this championship. Doesn't sound like much with still a decent bit of racing left to go, but any point counts. All the while, Isaiah Dickerson is putting a bow tie on this one. He's had a fabulous ride here today in Moto 1 at Latvia. Goes down by the mechanics area one more time and they tell him, yo dude, good moto. Out there crushing it. And somebody along the pit board also probably saying breath, take a breath. When they really mean breathe, but they forgot the E. Classic mistake. Dickerson's gonna go through a couple more corners here. And down to the finish line he comes. Moto 1 in Latvia belongs to Isaiah Dickerson. An incredible victory. Devin Ryan trying to keep the pressure on. Gonna come up a little bit short though here on Gebhardt. Over the line, Gebhardt still sits second. Third, Devin Ryan. Fourth should be Moxie. He is pretty much all alone. Copeland is all by himself in fifth as well. Sullivan has worked his way up to sixth. Here's a battle for seventh. Gatlin and Gonzalez. Gonzalez going to whip around the outside, make that pass. Gatlin trying to fight back around the outside of him. Oh, he's a backwards, and oh, he almost faked out of it. But down he goes. Klein will not get there. Holmes and Warden as Plessinger finished a lap down in 12th. So we're going to wait and see these guys come to the line here and see if anything changes. Gatlin's got to be frustrated as he had a chance there to hold off Gonzalez. Got past, tried to fight back, and went back down again. Klein getting hung up a little bit in that first corner. And Holmes trying to lurk there if he can. Oh, Holmes had laid it down, and Warden was coming in like a bat out of hell, but he could not quite get there. Let's see. Can Warden close this thing down? Putting some pressure on Brandon Holmes. Oh man, if he got that rut a little smoother, it would have been real interesting. He's got this line maybe a little bit better. Holmes made a mistake around the outside. It might be a bit of a drag race. Down to the line. Holmes just gets Warden over the line. That was awfully close in the end. And yeah, Holmes are going to hang on there. And everybody inside of the top 10 stayed the same. All right, what are we looking at back here? We have got Holmes was 11th, or I should say 10th. 11th for Warden, 12th was Plessinger, 13th for Trent Adams, 14th for Alex Kerr, 15th for Brett Powers, 16th was Reed Young. Reed Young got Carter, no, sorry, 16th was Carter Hutcherson, who got Reed Young on cuts. How many cuts did Reed Young have? Looks 8.96 seconds of cuts for Reed Young. Lost him that 16th position. So Hutcherson goes by into 16th, and 18th goes to, excuse me, Neil Fitzpatrick, who got around Austin Bear on cuts. The Bear man had 4.10 seconds of cuts. And 20th belongs to Connor Wells, who was able to get around Saulnier, Erickson, and Fowler there at the end to hang on to the final points paying position. That was race 1 here in Latvia. We got a 5-minute intermission on the way. And we got a lively chat here tonight. All 30 of you hanging out in chat. What is going on, my dudes? How you doing tonight? Do you have any questions for me about life, liberty, or the pursuit of happiness? I'm sitting right here, and I can try to answer them to the best of my abilities. Got Jack Gatlin dropping by saying, well, that sucked. Caught that 180 to near fakie on the last lap out of Gatlin. Oh, Sturban dropping by. Sturban 123. Just finished up the DMR racing on Supercross 2. Man, I missed that series too. I really wish I could still be racing it, but people love the sim streams, and got the opportunity to stream the GPs here, so wanted to commit to that. But I have been missing racing the Supercross 2 series. I want to get back into it, but unfortunately it seems like it's dying a little bit. Tony Hawk gonna bust some 9 hundos on these outside ruts during the intermission. I don't think I can do 900-degree spins on outside ruts. Need more oomph. A1 view count, it was 480, yeah. Gone down a little bit on the view count, but that's all right. It's good to have people dropping by still. DMR dead a little bit, yeah, it happens. I think that everybody's kind of waiting for the new game, MXGP 2019, to come around before anything new kicks back up, and hopefully we have another fun series to play when that happens. A McTwist? I need an embankment to do a McTwist. Toggle decals? I didn't. What does that, just turn decals on and off? There's a little underflip for you guys. Yeah, I can only do underflip, sorry. Aw, don't worry, Sturban. I'm keeping a keen eye open. I'm gonna see this 250 championship won by you here soon in no time. What does toggle decals do? I feel like this is about to ruin my game, but why not? Whoa, that's interesting. Whoa, we got like the Barney look out here. Wow. Trippy. Should just leave this on for the race, huh? Really trip you guys out. People watching back on YouTube will be like, what in the hook? I do like that the decals this week, or I should say the tile maps this week, have a multi-tone to them. Normally they're just one tone. We got a multi-tone this week, but purple is a unique choice, I will say. Very unique. This actually probably looks fascinating from the above camera here. Let's go off that. Yeah, look at that. Wow, that's interesting. I'll tell you that much right there. Whew. So what does it look like when I turn decals back on? Well, fancy. Let's see. Cart Phantom 68 wants to know custom AMA Nationals in MXGP 2019. That's a good question. I've actually been really curious to see what the track editor is going to be like in that game and how much freedom we have with like creating our own terrain / hillsides. Or is it like, honestly, I find it hard to believe we're going to get anything other than like a flat field or one environment that we can edit. It seems like a lot of processing power for them to include the ability to like make our own terrain, but I don't know. I really don't know what to expect with an MX game track editor that like you do yourself and don't like, it's not on a computer or anything like that. So very curious to see what we can do with that. But if we have the ability to make our own terrains, I'm fully on board to make like replica anything. Like I think it'd be super awesome to just make these cool replica tracks, AMA, nationals, amateur races, whatever, and race those in a game like that. Because I've always been enthralled with the idea of racing online in a video game, which is why I streamed these series for so long.
I'm
but
just waiting for mate, as I said.
Yeah, it'd be really cool to see. I will not be at Redbud 2019. Went to the donations, obviously, but it's pretty far travel for me. And I got a hell of a lot of other things going on right now, unfortunately, or else I'd love to go. I actually do want to go to Millville soon because I've never been to Millville. Been to Unadilla, been to Washougal, been to basically every California national, but yeah, want to get to more East Coast rounds every now and then. Don't know if I want to go to WW Ranch though. Can't say that I find WW Ranch a fond experience for a spectator. Flat track, so not good viewing, and then just, you know, Florida heat, which is just like, no thanks. I'll pass. Thank you, by the way, Anthony Pachone, dropping by with the 1 bit. I think he's getting ready for the 450 racing here on the other side of this Mx2 Race 2. So these guys out here for a parade lap. I did not pick a versus PC one to watch in the first race, so I'll do that now. Let's keep an eye on... Let's keep an eye on Austin Bear of Hemlock. Got a good start in that first moto, and it didn't quite work out. But I got a feeling we're gonna get some frisky top 10 action maybe out of Austin Bear. So, first piece I want to watch, Austin Bear. And Mx2 Race 2 coming at you right now here on SYS TV. Devin Ryan was able to pick up the Race Tech Whole Shot Award in Race 1. Will he do it again right now? We're about to find out. Really mixed-matched kind of gate here. We got 11 guys down the inside, 4 or 5 in the middle, 4 or 5 on the outside as JLV flies off the racetrack. It's time to go racing. It's the second race from Latvia in the Mx2 class. Gate is down. Devin Ryan, another good start. Let's see if he swoops in. And this time, Gebhardt will stay on 2 wheels and pick up the Race Tech Whole Shot Award. Ryan and Dickerson right up there with them. So our 3 top finishers from the first race, all at the sharp end of the field. The only real change here is that Dickerson, who won the first moto, is back in 3rd. Gebhardt, who was 2nd, is leading. Ryan, who was 3rd, is in 2nd. And oh boy, this is going to be quite the motor to watch right here. Is over the line, lap number 1. It is points leader Walter Gebhardt leading. Devin Ryan trying to keep it interesting. Dickerson is lagging. That is not a good sign. Never like to see lagging like this. Usually it sorts itself out. There we go. So Dickerson back on fray here. Not sure what happened. Don't believe he was going for the Mullins method of unplugging his modem. But maybe he was. I'm not sure. Obviously hope he doesn't get DDoSed. But we haven't seen that happen for a while, so I wouldn't imagine that's the case. Devin Ryan losing ground already to Gebhardt. Dylan Copeland has got a good start this time, and Moxie. So actually all of our guys that finished top 5 in Moto 1 are up front in Moto 2. which is weird. You don't see that very often. And look at here, versus PC1 to watch. Austin Bear running 6th, and he's going to go into 5th. Jordan Moxie just went down. Bear's trying to hold off Trent Adams and Jake Warden. Adams with a tasteful peek down the inside as Bear high sides and goes down. In a really tough spot right there too. So he's high centered on a rut. He's going to try to get going, but he's lost so many positions. All those positions he got on a good start. There's usually 2 types of riders, I would say, that exist in sim. Really just forever, but these days is really pretty true. You either got the guys that don't necessarily have the raw speed, but have good consistency, or guys that are blazing fast but crash a lot. And there's 2 strategies you play at the beginning. If you're a Dickerson or a Devin Ryan or a Walter Gebhardt, you have that speed. You have the balls out speed to perhaps win the moto. So when you get a good start like this, you kind of throw caution to the wind, because that's the only way you're going to get away early and give yourself a good chance to win the race. I was on the other half of that most of my career in this game, where didn't have the speed, but I had the consistency. And when I got a good start, it was basically clench for 3 laps and hope I didn't crash so I could stay up front and have a shot down the stretch to challenge at the front. Because there's no way that on raw speed alone I was going to get away at the front. And I think we see that a lot these days with some guys who get good starts and they just try to hang on. And eventually it leads to good scores. Battle for second is high and tight right now, though. Devin Ryan and Isaiah Dickerson going at it. Dickerson might try a peek down the inside, but that inside line just does not really seem to develop as well as these guys would hope. Dickerson, oh baby, that was aggressive. I don't think Devin Ryan saw that one coming for even kind of 1 second. These guys, man, they don't mess around anymore. I always talked about this front end lock and how it deterred people from doing aggressive passing. JLV would always say, well, if you take front end lock away, we're going to see a lot of punting again. Not many people really believed him, but I think we're seeing the fruits of that come true here. Or at the very least, we're seeing a couple guys that are upset with each other in successive fashion in these motos. Not sure what's going on out there, but Moxie and Gebhardt getting into it in that first moto. Now we see Dickerson and Ryan making contact in the second one. What in the Jeff Chicken Matasevich is going on out here with the T-Bones, I'll tell you that much. Dylan Copeland has worked his way up to 3rd. Trent Adams, Devin Ryan right there in tow. Jordan Moxie and Jack Gatlin off the back of this group. Oh, this 3-pack right here is just absolutely flying around the track right now. Adams with a cheeky line down the outside, but Ryan gets a 2-4 up the inside. They're going to go 3 abreast by the mechanics area. How is this going to work out? Ryan tries to tuck inside. He's going to complete those passes. All the while, Adams was trying to go around the outside of Copeland, but that didn't work. Still isn't working. Oh, let's see if this works. Look at this line around the outside. Carries momentum back down the inside. And he's got him. Copeland trying to fight back. Oh man, nothing in it between these two. And Moxie and Gatlin are licking their chops, rubbing their hands together, hoping that this comes to blows.
It's only a game. Why do you have to be mad?
Squiddy152 dropping by. Just subscribed again. Welcome back to the SYS VIP Club. Squiddy152, my man. Second month here. Glad to have you back. And as always, I really appreciate the subscription. Yeah, there you go. Alex Effort's dropping a fat in chat. He knows what's good.
It's only a game. Why have you kept the good?
Heck yeah, and Real Ice Cube also coming back. 3rd month of subscription. Another SYSV VIP member on tap here. Really appreciate you guys subscribing. Means a ton, and it helps out more than you could ever imagine. And it really keeps me wanting to come back and do some more. Especially when these battles continue on the racetrack. These guys are so close. The speed is so high. Moxie wants a piece of Dylan Copeland. Copeland making a few mistakes. Little dualies action. Oppo scrubs in the other direction. Moxie trying to go the long way around. Copeland, if he had that inside rut nailed, it might have worked, but it ended up not working in his favor. He's actually going to lose a spot to Dalton Plessinger along the way. These guys all changing positions back here like it's a hot potato. Oof. Man, let's scrub down that back straightaway. These guys are just launching every lap too. Oh, Moxie blows the outside line. That might be 2 spots right there. Oh man, Copeland had a drive, but Moxie came back across and held the line. And Copeland is dead set on some of these inside lines. They are not working too well for the 44. In fact, here comes Gatlin, and he's bringing Luke Sullivan with him. Oh, Gatlin, woo! Landing heavy on the nose and off the racetrack. 2 things that usually equate to a disaster, but he was able to corral it, and Sullivan pushing the front end right there, nearly lost it on corner exit too. And Gatlin, just as soon as he made a mistake, might have a pass lined up here on Dylan Copeland. Copeland on the struggle bus a little bit here. And Gatlin taking a peek down the inside. Not going to work just yet, but he still trying to size him up. Let's see what he can make happen here. Down by the finish line. Launches a little bit further than Copeland, but saps his momentum on landing. These 250Fs all about momentum, especially on a sandy track like we have here in Kegums. Copeland looks like he's at least settled his pace down a little bit and found a groove. Pretty easy in this game to fall out of the zone as well. It's not like these guys can do the same lap over and over again. We see fluctuations in pace. Obviously crashes happen. Sometimes you just lose focus just a little bit, and it means so much on the racetrack because Gatlin is going to take another peek down the inside. He's got a line at the end of this straightaway and just nudges Copeland right off the racetrack. Fortunately, Luke Sullivan made a big mistake, and what is Dylan Copeland doing right here? Wonder if he wants a piece of Jack Gatlin here. Says, no siree, you don't get to just move me out of the way. I'm going to come back after you. Gatlin throwing the hammer down, though, trying to make sure that doesn't happen. Doesn't present an opportunity for Copeland to throw it back down the inside and make things interesting. And that gap has stabilized, at least for the time being. Up ahead, Moxie still giving chase to Trent Adams. Dalton Plessinger's kind of by himself. Devin Ryan, Dickerson, and Gebhardt. So really, our leaders are spread out. This battle between Adams and Moxie is a good one, though. This one is for 5th. Oh, and Plessinger was down, so that actually makes this battle 1 for 4th. Holy cow, Dugbert 316 dropping by with a $20 donation. That is awesome, man. Really appreciate it. Says, keep the gas burning and the wheels turning. What kind of gas we burning out here? We got 2-stroke oil in there or what? Burning that late night fuel. I appreciate it though, man. Seriously, thank you so much for that $20 donation. That is probably going to go to buying me a new desk. Although, now that we're in our new place, I got to buy a new setup for our garage. Got to buy furniture for the front room too. We don't even have couches in the front room. We got couches in our family room, but that's it. Moxie makes a pass on Trent Adams as Pin 66 drops by and gifts 3 Tier 1 subs. Welcome to the SYS VIP Lounge.
It's only
Moto Kid 729,
you have to be mad.
1 Waffle Stomper, and Tommy Diz, or Tommy D's. Thank you, Pinned. I appreciate it, dude.
It's only a game.
Legendary.
Why do you have to be mad?
Did you guys know Zach Dupuis won a championship in 2013, beating the likes of Tyson Fresquez and Tyler Crane? And he did it by only winning 2 overalls. 2 overalls! That's so crazy to me. I read that stat the other day, earlier this week. I had to clean my glasses. I couldn't believe my eyes. Moxie and Plessinger throwing the gauntlet down right here. Oh, man. Oh, Ryan trying to close the door, but Moxie's still out of line there. Wow, look at that line from Devin Ryan swooping into the out. This is a nice battle between these two. Fair play. Moxie not being as aggressive as he was in the first race. Maybe John Gallagher found his way down and had a chit chat with him. Would Jeremy Cohenauer's name be Jeremy Gallagher or John Cohenauer? Vote now on your cellular devices. Oh, Jordan Moxie. Loving the throwdowns right there. Ooh, Moxie, a little kick on the start straight too. This is a frantic battle between these two. Just about to hit the halfway point of this moto. Ryan a little hang up in that corner, but Moxie, a couple mistakes, and has not been able to close it back down just yet. Dickerson and Gebhardt have the lead locked down, so this battle for third is the one to watch at the moment. Actually go on board. We haven't been on board at all yet this race, but Jordan Moxie has got the active code number 15 machine right in front of him, and he thinks that this is going to get good real fast here. Moxie trying to have a peek down the inside. Launching out to flat here and just putting everything into it on landing. Tripling into the corner here and swinging to the outside. We got a double, 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 double all the way through the wave section back here. Scrub it down on this jump into the back. Oh, there it goes, Moxie. Loses traction on landing, slides across the track. And if this was real life, he would be out of this moto with a concussion, but fortunately his head just plows right through those hay bales and no damage done. How about Brandon Holmes? Well inside of the top 10 here in race 2. Pretty good first moto, but not inside of the top 10. And now Dylan Copeland and Jordan Moxie having a battle. I didn't realize Copeland got around Moxie, but he did just as we switched over. Oh, Copeland still using those insides. They're starting to work. This track is developing a little over 16 minutes into this moto, and Copeland's attempts at these inside moves is starting to play in his favor a little bit, but he just made a mistake before the finish line jump. Got to be careful not to miss the finish line jump as Holmes goes through. You can miss some timing gates, but not the finish line jump, as now Holmes absolutely augers in. And holy cow, Plessinger is bringing Trent Adams and Jack Gatlin with him. So these guys have just been battling the entire time. We've been missing out on some epic action, no doubt. I like that these guys are not only some of the only triple-digit numbers we got running out front right now, but they happen to be only 10 digits apart from each other. And they're pretty rare digits, too. I don't know that I see the 333 being used very often. Oh, Gatlin down. That's going to allow Holmes through and Gonzalez. Luke Sullivan, Sean Klein, Jake Warden, Brett Powers, Carter Hutcherson, Reed Young, and then Austin Bear. Austin Bear holds down the 17th position for our versus PC one to watch. He had a good start. He was up in 6th. We saw him go down, lose a lot of positions. But the Hemlock Rider trying to keep his head down and charging forward. It appears that we have some riders behind him that are out of the race. Erickson, Saves, Fowler are still in it. Connor Wells has just gone down with Alex Kerr. And, they're coming to blows there on the racetrack. Got to be careful. Leaders don't get involved. Dominic Saunier just went down. He is not sure who that is with him. Who was he just battling with right there? Ah, 333 is Scooty Puff's number. Interessante. All right, Holmes is being attacked by Kevin Gonzalez. Gonzalez just riding an absolute wave of momentum after that podium last week in France, trying to charge his way forward here in this second moto. Gonna move up to 8th at this move on Holmes, but Holmes fights back around the outside. Credit Gonzalez there, giving him room. He could have easily swung out and shut the door. Oh, and he lays it down on the inside. That was Wells that was down, so he's a lap down. But Trent Adams up ahead is suddenly in this battle. And Holmes made a little bobble, but then a huge mistake from Gonzalez. What a save. That was almost really bad. Shout out Buster Boy YZ dropping by with the 5 biddies. What is up, my dude? Thanks so much for the bits. I appreciate it, good sir. So suddenly Trent Adams under attack here by the 148 of Brandon Holmes. And Moxie in the mix now too. Nobody wants to hold on to their positions. It is just a shuffle fest back here. Alex Kerr just up ahead. Oh, Moxie gets into Adams and takes him down. A little bit of lag right there, I'd have to say. Adams from the USA, Moxie from Great Britain. A little bit of the lag bubble in play. Oh, we got to change up front. Dickerson has gone to the lead. He's taking it from Gebhardt. Sturban123 dropping knowledge in chat as I'm just oblivious to everything that's going on. But how about this? Our championship combatants. Dickerson clawed away 3 points from Gebhardt in the first moto. Gebhardt trying to fight back in the second moto. I thought he might have a peek down the inside. But Gebhardt trying to fly in and out of these corners. 11 points in it, championship-wise between these guys as they run. That gap would be down to 8. Gebhardt, a big save. Got to try to keep it close here so he can maybe get back around Dickerson. This is for the overall Grand Prix victory as well. Gebhardt wins, he will be the victory, or take the victory in the GP. If Dickerson wins, he takes the victory. So a lot on the line right now between these two. Is a mistake from Dickerson, and Gebhardt nearly pulls alongside. It's a drag race up to the back section. Oh man, Gebhardt a little kick and a little flick right there. Trying to square off the corner and get the power down, but just nothing in it. Shout out Buster Boy YZ dropping another 5 biddies in. Hope you're enjoying this race. I certainly am, as these guys are going for it in Latvia. So how does does Gebhardt respond? to Dickerson going back into the lead. Coming up on Jake Warden to lap him. Oh, a mistake from Dickerson. Gebhardt scrubs by back into the lead, but Dickerson's got to drive. Oh, man, nearly contact. Dickerson scrubbing down the far inside, but is not going to get the move into the corner. Got to watch out for Warden. These guys are clipping that tough block, come back onto the straightaway. Look at this battle into the corner here. Funneling into the same lines. Dickerson a little better drive. Cuts back underneath. Pulls alongside and is going to use the inside in this corner. Oh, and Gebhardt goes down. He blows the corner on the outside. Dickerson didn't even need to force the issue. It was a self-inflicted mistake from Gebhardt. Oh, and the points leader is going to be kicking himself from that one. That was really interesting. I think Gebhardt there just pushing the envelope so much, wanted to keep the lead by using the outside line to keep the pressure on Dickerson to get the inside line perfect, and just overstepped his welcome a little bit into that corner entry. Talked about it in the first motos. These guys hitting the chop in the middle of the corners and the front wheel just kind of riding up the rut. It's not a ton, but just a little bit of chop in these corners. You start seeing that front end chatter just a little bit. It can ride right up over the berm in no time. That's how you see these guys have these big offs trying to carry momentum around the outside. And again, Gebhardt. Front end tucks on entry and right over the top he goes. That is going to cost him a lot of time right there with only about 6 minutes and 2 laps left to go. That was the gift Dickerson needed right there, I'll tell you that much. If he goes 1-1 today with Gebhardt's current 2-2 form, he'll have this points lead down to just 8 points. Gebhardt looks like he is actually kind of struggling a little bit, and can't be forgotten that Devin Ryan is lurking back here in third, and if Ryan can get around Gebhardt, not only does that switch the points a little bit more in favor for Dickerson, but it also switches Gebhardt out of second overall and puts him back to third. Ryan would go 3-2 for second. We'll see if he's able to make that happen. Devin Ryan always sneaky good late in these races, but there goes the front wheel again. This guy's starting to push the envelope late in the motos, trying to get every last inch of the racetrack that they can. And it's causing some unforced errors, just front end slide outs out of these guys. Doesn't take much at all. The margins for error in this game are so small, so tight. That's what makes it so impressive what these guys are able to do over a 30-minute time span. And the laps they're able to run and the pace they're able to do without crashing. But it just takes that one little moment, that one tiny mistake, and so much hard work comes unraveled in an instant. So Ryan loses touch with Gebhardt. Dalton Plessinger, a turnaround moto this time after he was 12th in that first one. Your third fastest qualifier, probably going to be disappointed that he didn't convert on a podium chance today with that high qualifying time. But at least he's regrouped at the moment for fourth and might go into third, as he is putting the pressure now on Devin Ryan, who just got back up from another crash. And Dalton Plessinger trying to find the way around his teammate. Mistake. Plessinger lost the front wheel there. How about Dylan Copeland? Every time we watch him, it doesn't look like he's putting in the lap times that could keep him up front. But he is just sneakily running some really good lines. Was the first of the guy that I saw early in the race trying to use inside lines to his advantage. Where I've been seeing them happen is coming up here in the next couple of corners. Not here, but goes over this hump, swings to the outside. Actually goes inside on the roller there, and then he'll go inside here as well. I think he goes inside in this next corner too. Yeah, look at just using all the inside lines. We're seeing everybody swing outside, rail the outside. And I think this is smart out of Copeland because those insides are not yet shattered out like I've been talking about. He's not losing the front end all the time because these inside lines are still rather smooth. Now that line he carries it to the outside, and then obviously everyone's going inside here. But just an interesting tactic that he's using there. Likely to stay on two wheels and not push the envelope too much while still keeping the times close by using those inside lines. Whether or not he gets to Dalton Plessinger remains to be seen. Jordan Moxie, he was 4th in race 1, 6th in race 2 at the moment. En route for a potential top 5. Kevin Gonzalez looking at a 7-7 day, but Klein wants to turn that around. Sean Klein was 9th in the first moto, 8th right here. Pretty interesting to see the consistency we've seen out of these guys today. Dalton Plessinger, the only really big mover in the field here in race 2. And Klein taking a peek down the inside. He's using those inside lines that Copeland's been using, trying to double his way down the inside and keep Gonzalez honest here. Oh, wow, what a move. I thought for sure Gonzalez would be able to fight back, but did not make it happen. So Klein goes up into 7th. Gonzalez drifts back to 8th. They're going to try to run down Moxie. Oh, and just as I say that, Klein cartwheeling. Brandon Holmes going to go on by into 8th now. And Klein still 9th. Let's see if he remounts there. He will. Luke Sullivan is 10th. Jack Gatlin is 11th. Brett Powers is in 12th. 13th for Trent Adams. 14th is Carter Hutcherson. Oh, we got a battle up front, folks. I got to go back to this because look at this. Dickerson and Gebhardt, only a couple seconds in between them now. And they will get 3 to go next time by, surely, as we only have about a minute left on the clock, but they are not going to have that whole minute go by before they get to the flag next time. This is going to be an interesting one to watch. Look at that move! Through the switchbacks, nobody's made passes there all day, and wow, Dickerson had no idea what hit him right there. Gebhardt from out of nowhere pounces on the lead. And we have a new leader in Latvia. Walter Gebhardt has gone to the front and starting to use those inside lines that we saw Copeland taking. Does Dickerson have a rebound? And yeah, 20 seconds on the clock still, so 3 to go this time by. This is for the Grand Prix victory. This is for a swing in the championship towards Dickerson's favor. With only 4 rounds, 8 motos left to go after this one, this would be huge if Dickerson can claw these points away from Gebhardt. And you can be sure of it that he is going to send everything and the kitchen sink after Walter Gebhardt for the race lead right here. He is throwing caution to the wind, using those outsides still. Wow, last minute tucks inside. Actually made it work quite well. Brett Powers trying to get her out of the way on the outside there. Allows him through. Trent Adams, a little close, but lets him by. Just hovering right around that 1.5 second range. He's carrying so much speed in and out of the corners right now. I really don't think Dickerson realized that the gap was that close or even coming down that much. Gebhardt only 1 second up the road. 2-lap board coming out this time by. It's insane to think that as fast as Dickerson looks like he's going, Gebhardt's basically matching him as the times are suggesting, but now Dickerson has got this thing down a little bit further. 39.6 to a 41.5. Dickerson almost laid down his fastest lap of the race that lap. And he is right back onto the rear wheel of Gebhardt here for the lead. To the top of the hill they go. Dickerson just putting a ton of pressure right now onto Gebhardt. Incredible battle we're watching from the first person perspective here of Isaiah Dickerson. Look at the speed he's carrying right on the edge of the rut right there. And again, back to the inside for both of these guys, and then they swing wide to avoid that inside roller so they can double in around the outside and double all the way through this section. Dickerson, a little crossover line. Gebhardt is just right in front of him there. They scrub the opposite directions. Gebhardt, a little hop. Another hop, and down he goes! Oh, he saved it! Gebhardt stays on 2 wheels. And now Dickerson blows the corner in the first turn. Gebhardt is still lurking there. Gebhardt did a complete 360 front flip and stayed on 2 wheels. And that could be huge. Now he goes down. Got a kick on the outside rut and he's off the track. It was all in the pressure there from Dickerson. An insane lap that he put down and just kept hounding him. White flag waves. That is a statement right there from Isaiah Dickerson. I don't care what you say. That kind of late race pressure, that charge, and that forced error by Gebhardt, who has gone down again, that is huge. And at this point, it is all but locked up for Dickerson as his lead is really extended. 3 successive crashes basically there for Gebhardt. I really have no idea still how he saved the first one. Well, doesn't get much better than that, folks. Talk about a late race charge, a late race battle for the lead. I guess the only way it gets better is if it was right down to the finish line, but wow, these guys really put on a show for us today. And at the end of it all, Isaiah Dickerson will be resilient. 8-point lead for Gebhardt leaving as we run. That is literally nothing in terms of sim racing. That is so close, especially with 8 motos still to go. Oh, this is going to be really fun to watch down the stretch here. But today, well, it's Dickerson's day, man. He was flawless when he needed to be. Couple mistakes mid-moto cost him. But when the pressure was on and he put the pressure down on the Gebhardt, he fought through, he took it from him, and he will win the RFGP of Latvia as he crosses the line to win race 2. He goes 1-1 on the day. Incredible. Walter Gebhardt maybe kicking himself after that one, but surely can't be too down on himself. A 2-2 performance salvages the points lead. And Devin Ryan is going to make it a clean sweep of the top 3. 1-1, 2-2, and 3-3 now for Devin Ryan as he's coming down to the line to pick up a podium here in Latvia. Whoa, maybe not. He's going to be fine. Big gap back to Copeland. And Ryan going to come down and finish up in 3rd. Here is Copeland, though, who just very, very quietly and methodically has found his way up to 3rd, or up to 4th late in the race here. He's going to go 5-4 for 4th overall. Kind of spoiled the fun of the top 5 because Moxie's going to end up 5th. If they were switched in this moto, we would have went 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, 4-4, 5-5. As Moxie goes 4-5 and Copeland goes 5-4, so they split. Copeland ends up 4th overall. Sean Klein crosses the line 6th. 7th for Kevin Gonzalez. He goes 7-7. 8th for Dalton Plessinger. 12-8 for him. Brandon Holmes is going to be 9th. He's going to go 10-9. So a couple top 10 performances for the 1-4-8. Ooh, Luke Sullivan going down. That might cost him a position. No, Carter Hutchinson's already finished, so Sullivan's got 10th on lock here. He's going to go 1 position better. Or no, I'm sorry, 4 positions worse. He was 6th in the first race. was Sullivan, so not what he was hoping out of the second moto. But still a couple top 10 performances today. Nothing to slouch about whatsoever. Behind him, it was Hutcherson, Gatlin, Adams, Powers, Erickson, Fowler, Warden, Saves, Bear, and Wells, wrapping out the point scorers here of Mx2 Race 2 in Latvia. Well, Isaiah Dickerson has won the RFGP of Latvia in the Mx2 class. We still got 2 more motos to go, folks. We're going to head to a quick commercial break, and on the other side of this one, we have got the Mx1 class at the RFGP of Latvia here in Kegums. Do not touch that URL bar. We'll be right back here on Start Your Systems TV.